to see you again. Good to see your face again. Good to see you. I'm the suitcase in your hallway. I'm the footsteps on your floor. When I'm walking down on you, I feel like I know what my life is for. Good to see you. Good to see you again. Good to see your face again. Good to see you. I've been down on the endless highway. I've passed on the solid line. Now I'm lost, I'm home to you. I feel I'm making up for lost time. Good to see you. Good to see you again. Good to see your face again. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you again. Good to see your face again. Good to see you. Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today I'm going to attempt to show you how to play Good to See You by Neil Young. This one's a tricky one. The chords aren't particularly difficult, but there's loads of embellishments, loads of hammer-ons. The finger picking part is pretty tricky. It is one of those ones where I just listen to it a lot. I've done a lot of this kind of Neil Young styly stuff before. I don't know how easy it's going to be to slow it down and explain it to you, but I'll do my best. So bear with me, but it will probably take a bit of experimenting from you as well, because part of the thing about this style is it's got to be relaxed and smooth and sloppy and in time, and there's all these kind of mixed things because it's allowed to be a little bit loose. That's kind of a good thing, but at the same time it's got to be kind of accurate too. So hopefully I'll be able to get you through it. I wouldn't go too crazy on trying to go for the super accuracy thing with the notes that you're picking out, and just be cool with like getting it mostly right. That's the way I've been playing it for a while now. It seems to be that the longer I play it for, the closer it's getting to accurate. So again, this isn't one where I played it like really slowly and really accurately for a while. I just went for the technique, trying to get the feel good, and then I've gradually refined being able to pick out bits of the melody and stuff like that. So that might be the way I'd recommend for you as well. But just slow and careful might work. It's just not the approach that I took on this particular tune. Let's get to a close-up. Check out the chords first of all in a simple version, so you could actually just strum it and play it relatively easy, because you can totally do that. And then I'll go into a bit more detail and try and explain what on earth is going on with the pick in hand. So let's look at the chords first of all. The intro is this G chord here with just the third and the fourth fingers. The fifth string is muted. So we play just the bass notes, the chord. Then we're putting first finger down, first fret of the second string, second finger down, second fret of the fourth string. It's kind of like a G6 sus4 or a C over G. It's got a few different names, but so we're just putting it down for that one beat. 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Then the second time, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 goes D, C, C. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 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 It's actually kind of the easiest part of the tune. It's not super easy, just listen to the original recording to get the rhythm there. I wouldn't bother trying to go and count it. So the chords for the chorus, it starts with the chorus actually after the intro. So it's G, good to D, U, C, 2, 3, 4, G, good to D, U, A minor to C, G, good to D, or E minor to C, G, good to D, U, C, for a whole bar. Let's do that chorus again. So G for 2, good to D, U, C, for a whole bar. 3, 4, then G, good to D, U, A minor to C, G, good to D, or E minor to C, G, good to D, U, C. Now let's go into the verse. So G, I am the suitcase. D, in your hallway. A minor, I'm the footsteps. G, on your floor. Another bar of G, when I'm looking. D, on you. E minor, I feel like I know what C chord is for. And then it's back to the chorus again. So that is the only sections. The chords themselves are pretty simple. I do find it a little bit of a funny one. Sometimes the chords are not immediately obvious. It's not one of those like one little chord sequence that goes all of the way through. So just to recap the chorus, G, D, C for a whole bar, then G, D, A minor, C, so almost the same but with a half a bar of A minor thrown in there, G, D, E minor, C, so a variation on that last 2-bar sequence there, but with an E minor instead of an A minor, and then G, D, C. So remember the first and the fourth bars of that 4-bar sequence are the same, G, D, C. Then we've got the G, D, A minor, C, G, D, E minor, C, G, D, C. So look for the patterns. Try and remember it that way because it's very difficult to think of a chord sequence while you're thinking of singing. So you've got to get the chord sequence kind of memorized in there a bit. So try and like write it out, look at the patterns, try and get the sequence in there. You will find playing it a few times will help drag it in there as well. The verse, a lot less chords. Each of the chords is played for a whole bar, so it makes it a little bit easier when you're singing that part. And it's G, D, A minor, G, G, D, E minor, C. So you're just going to have to remember those 2 chord progressions. Relatively simple. If you don't want to do it with all of the fancy finger picking, you could just try any of the sorts of strumming. So, good to see. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has got that feeling of playing down strums on the beat and the end. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4, as opposed to and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. It's kind of like, it's a funny feel, that one, because if you play it as 8th notes with down up, it just seems to kind of drag a little bit. It wants to be this down and down and down and down. You hear there I'm putting the accent on 2 and 4 still. It makes a big difference to do that, just the feeling of it. In the verses, interestingly, this 16th notey thing doesn't work as well. There's a few different versions when he plays it live. Sometimes when he goes to the verse, he switches to that 8th note strumming. So he's gone from this, good to see, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, all down strums on the 8th notes, all the way through the chorus again. I'll remember it in myself in a minute. Good to see you. Then when he goes into the chorus, the feeling is this. I'm the suitcase in your hallway. More like the down, down, up, down thing. Down, down, up, down. For me, if I do that switch, it felt too strong to go from that back into. It didn't quite feel right. Now, you could choose. Obviously, that would work, and Neil's done it that way a few times. So there are circumstances where it's going to work. Great, okay? particularly if you're going to do this, picking the bass note out and then trying to get their melody parts in there as well. It's going to be a little bit trickier to do the change for me. So what I do for the verses is I tend to just think of playing the bass note. So I'm playing like for the G to the D. D, A, D, A. I'll go through that a little bit more in a second, actually. So let's first of all tackle the chorus with this complicated finger picking pattern. So I'm just going to focus now on the pick and hand. I'm going to try and play it slowly first of all, the chorus, just so you can see what's going on. Faster. Pretty complicated, hey? So just to try and break it down a little bit slowly. So we're playing the bass on 1 and 3 usually. So 1. Then we've got these little strums. Third finger, and then I'm actually using my second finger to hammer on 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And with the D, I'm playing the bass note D, the 2nd string, and hammering the whole D chord on, so we get that little hammer on there on the 2nd string. And then this is 1st finger hammering on for the D while we're playing the 3rd string with the thumb. C. And here 2nd finger is hammering on in its usual spot on the C, and then 2nd finger moves down a string, hammers onto the 3rd string and back. Okay, the G, hammer on, that's the 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string. D with a whole hammer on, then the 1st finger, C, G, same thing to D, A minor, here is the, and then 4th string, 2nd finger lifts off and hammers on, C, G, D, E minor, then 5th string, 2nd finger hammers on, C, C, and then the 4th string, open, then 2nd finger hammer on, G, D to C, G. Should point out for the instrumental break there's a couple of little minor changes. I still haven't properly learned the second part of it, actually, to be honest, but starts the same. Second bar. You get this A minor. The the melody note's the open G on the C chord. Here, the A minor. Then for the D chord, the bass note switches to the A. I can't remember exactly what happens in that part, but obviously that solo part there requires a certain degree of accuracy, but it's also kind of sloppy and loose in a beautiful way. So it's one of those things where I feel like super slow, careful practice isn't the answer in this case. Definitely slowing it down a bit, but you're really looking for the feeling here, the feeling of the thumb doing this. I'm not having to really think about it too much. It's this feeling. Bass, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, up, down, up, bass, down, up, bass, up, down, up. And there's also this little element to getting the hit with the hand with the down, up. So I'm hitting down with my hand while I'm doing the strum with my first finger. That gets you this. So you still get the chord, but with a bit of the click, which is the tricky part. You will just have to do some experimenting with that stuff. I'm not exactly sure how to go about teaching you any more, giving you any more than that. You can't do it too slowly, you can't do it too fast, so slow it down a bit, then really try and work on the feeling of it. Have a go at it and I think you just got to push through a little bit riding a bike. You know, think that going really slow isn't going to help. It's going to make it more unstable. So try and get the feeling of it at a medium speed. Like you don't start learning to ride a bike going real fast, right? You want just enough speed to get enough momentum for it to kind of feel right. That's what I think you're looking for here. For the verses, it's okay to move into just down, down, up, down, down, down. I'm the footsteps on your floor. Just for me, it always feels a bit jerky moving from and the suitcase in your hallway. Just, I don't know, it never seems to work. So I prefer having so what here I'm doing is just bass, down, up, bass, down, up. That's the pattern. Bass of the chord, then down, up with the first finger. And then if you want to, you can start moving the bass notes. So G, D, G, D to D, A, D, A. That's 4th string, 5th string for the D. A minor would be 5th string to 6th string to G. Now for the G you can either play the 4th string or you can do a little hammer on with the second finger, 2nd fret, 5th string. When I turn the sound on to you, I feel like making up for lost time. Smoother. If you use that kind of bass and the strumming thing, for me it makes the transition between the verses and the choruses a lot smoother. It feels yeah, like it's flowing a little bit more. But there are versions of Neil where he stops and changes to a different kind of a strumming vibe, which does accentuate the differences between the verse and the chorus, which is sometimes good. I don't know. This is your call. Have a listen to some versions of Neil doing it. Pick out the ones you want, or completely reinterpret the song how you want. Because if you're doing a cover, none of us are ever going to get that close to the way Neil does it properly. So feel free to make it your own and change it up and play it however you want. Yeah, challenging tune this one to try and nail it down. I'd still feel like I've got a bit of work to do on it, but I'm enjoying it. It's a fun journey. I thought I'd share it. I feel like I'm reasonable enough at it to share it with you all out there that might enjoy it. But yeah, a lot of Neil stuff is kind of simple-ish on the surface, and then you dig into it, and the more minutiae you want to explore, and the closer you want to get, the harder and harder it is to really nail it down. The guy is a proper genius. Yeah, loads more Neil Young over on the website. He's like my favorite artist of all time. So that, as you'd expect, all of the biggest hits have been done already. And I'm now digging into a little bit more of the less known stuff, but the stuff that I really connect with and I really like. I even covered a few of the harmonica bits as well. So do go and check that out over on the website. If you're into Neil, really appreciate you hitting the subscribe and the thumbs up and the comments and all of that usual YouTube stuff. But even better, head on over to the website. We've got tons of great stuff going on over there. Request board for the songs, and we got got a discussion board and stuff, so you can connect with other people learning the same tunes. All that, it's just better. Go and have a look. Hope you have a fantastic day. Enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you for more very soon. Bye bye.